I will discuss about Bill of Rights. So what is Bill of Rights? Bill of Rights, it is a declaration, enumeration of a person's fundamental civil and political rights. It also imposes safeguard against violation by the government, by individuals, or by group of individuals. So the Bill of Rights governs the relationship between the individual and the state. Its concern is not it's not with relationship between individuals or between us private individual and other individuals. What the Bill of Rights does is to declare some forbidden zones in the private sphere inaccessible to any power holder. There are four classification of constitutional rights. The first is the civil rights, political rights, social and economic rights, and the rights of the accused. Civil rights, it is the rights that belongs to an individual by virtue of his citizenship in a state or community. For example, is the rights to property, marriage, freedom to contract, and equal protection, etc. So next is the political rights. Rights that pertain to an individual's citizenship vis-a-vis the management of the government. Rights, example is the rights of suffrage, rights to petition government to redress, right to hold public office, etc. Next is the social and economic rights. Rights which intend to ensure the well-being and economic security of an individual. And the last is the rights of the accused. Civil rights intended for the protection of a person accused of any crime. So let's also discuss about the due process and what is its definition. Due process furnishes a standard to which the governmental action should conform in order to that the deprivation of life, liberty, or property in each appropriate case be valid. The standard is responsiveness to the supremacy of reason, obedience to dictates of justice. It has been identified as freedom from arbitrariness. There are two aspects of due process, substantive due process and the procedural due process. So what is substantive due process? It inquires whether the government has sufficient justification for depriving a person of life, liberty, or property. It requires that the law itself, not merely the procedures by which the law would be enforced, is fair and reasonable and just. So next is the procedural due process. It refers to the procedures that the government must follow before it deprives a person of life, liberty, or property. It concerns itself with the government action adhering to the established process when it makes an intrusion into the private sphere. So let us also discuss about the equal protection of the law. What is its concept? So all persons or things similarly situated must be similarly treated both as to rights conferred and responsibilities imposed. Similar subjects, in other words, should not be treated differently so as to give undue favor to some and unjustly discriminate against others. So next is the search warrant and what is its definition. A search warrant is an order in writing issued in the name of the people of the Philippines, signed by a judge and directed to a peace officer, commanding him to search for personal property described therein and bring it before the court. And what is the warrant of arrest? It is a written order issued and signed by a judge directed to a peace officer or some other person specially named, commanding him to arrest the body of a person naming it who is accused of an offense. So that's it. Thank you and good night.